Shalom and shalom, everybody. Through the days of dwelling in the Sukkah, because it's been an intense prophet and Torah study through those days, as far as we focus in our we focus on the post-millennial reign, basically, through the millennium and then the post-millennial reign. And earlier back, the Father, in my prayer time and devotions, Abba took me into the geometry or the mathematics of the wilderness wandering temple, or the dwelling place. And what's been speaking to me, if we all want to delve into this, and I wouldn't mind if somebody who is a brainiac that has very good with math and bean counter, whatever you want to call them, to help break this down, as far as somebody who maybe know the Hebrew and know how the Hebrew characters are numbers themselves. That would be fun. I'd love to hear from you, because it's beyond me. That's not my call and gift right now. But I did want to plant some seeds. The Father has taught me years ago, just when He plants a seed in me, He just spoke to me in a very unusual way, that it's basically, if Yahuwsha, our Creator, Yahuwsha is our Creator and our Master, and if He is the Torah, if He is the living Torah who came to dwell in flesh, why couldn't we find the 144,000 there? Because when I started digging through all the mathematics of the Hekel, the wilderness wandering tabernacle, it started just to unveil to me, if we add them up, just basic geometry, if we add all these up, and they're all different functions of the body, every aspect of this temple, the wilderness wandering dwelling place, has a different character, a different purpose. Every rope that holds the cord or the walls or the fences is very important. Every stake that goes in the ground, every socket that holds the boards, every board, every tenon, and every on the bottom of the boards, every bit of canvas, the blue, purple, scarlet cherubim woven into each part of it. Even the colors are ministries. And we, as a body of Mashiach, we have so many different gifts. I think that's why we battle with each other so much, family, is because we are so vast and different in our callings and elections. I'll look at you and say, where do you come up with this? And you're probably thinking to me, oh no, this guy's going Lulu again. Because basically if you want to sum me up, they'll just go, well, you're a mystic. Because like I said, I read into the levels. I do the party studies. I don't, there's so many meanings. You can't have the Ruach abiding in you and read the Bible like a book. It's not like that. It's valuable in the Peshat, but it's, most of the life of Yahuwsha is in the other areas. And there's something about this temple. Well, I'm not going to solve it for you, but this is like a teaching. I want to plant some seeds. Again, the title of the teaching, I'll probably name it, the 144,000. If Yahuwsha is the Torah, why aren't they taught in the Torah? Those who overcome. And more than likely with Shlomo's Hekel or temple, there's probably a mathematical equation to figure it out. That one is so far beyond me right now. I don't understand why there are 10 lavers and, it's a type of 10 slaughter altars, 10 lavers, the 10 lampstands. There's so many things I can't figure out the prophetic meaning of it right now, so I'm letting that one alone. But allow me just to warm you up on this. I'll give you some basics. Like the number 12 is perfected government. It's order, government. Basically, it's not numerology. For those who are thinking, I'm in the numerology, the Torah lays itself out mathematically. Okay, like 5 is favor. Remember how the high priest Aaron, when he went up on Mount, I'm forgetting, Nebo, to die on the new moon? It was 5 months later than the sin that caused him to die. So there's all sorts of little hints, and you have to sort of like figure out the math, and that's where it comes from. It's not from just going to a satanic numerology website and learning it that way. The Torah always interprets itself. The Tanakh always interprets itself. But let me share a few things. Because we all talk about Shaul's writings. You know how there are many members of the body. I cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you. Remember that? We are all different aspects of one body. Okay? Let me reveal I'm going to walk through some numbers. I made some notes. I'm going to talk to you about this. As far as those who understand the numbers, and remember, when you figure out all the furniture, we're going to start with the furniture. When you figure out the furniture, it's height, width, depth, and length. Okay, it's so many cubits wide, so many cubits long, so many cubits thick, that type of thing. And then you use geometry and piece them all together. Okay? And you're going to get some prophetic numbers here. So let me walk you through this. Again, I'm focusing all of the instruments of the temple, and I didn't include everything, but I pretty much laid out the ones that really popped out at me, okay? So this is the wilderness wandering sukkah if Yahuwsha is the Torah, if he is the Torah, why is not the 144,000 in the Torah with him? It's his body. See, I'm one of these people, for people who think I'm a mystic and an oddball, I think outside the box. We have to renounce our Christian heritage. We have to renounce the Edomite, our brothers who forsake the covenant. Spiritually, an Edomite is like a Christian who partakes of his blankety blank, and he never follows through. He forsakes his birthright. He forsakes his firstborn calling, and he casts off for a bowl of red soup. Red is always a representative of flesh, red clay, carnality. For a bowl of carnality, he casts off his entire calling and election, and his birthright. So spiritually, no racial things, but anybody who comes to Yahuwsha and does not follow through is an Edomite spiritually in the drash. Okay, where's the 144,000? Why are not they in the Torah? And he is the Hekel. He is the one who Emmanuel. He tabernacles with us. He's told Miriam and Yahuwsha to proclaim, Yahuwah is tabernacling among us now. That's what the proclamation of Emmanuel is all about. So let's learn the Mashiach. And again, invite all those who are the thinkers who understand the math. And I can't break it down. My mind just doesn't function in that realm of that deep math, bean count like that. But I would appreciate any help. Okay, the Sukkah, Yahuwsha in the wilderness. Remember, he says he is the door. The narrow door, the narrowest door in the Hekel was the one that went into Kadosh Mos Kadosh, or into the mercy seat. The most, I don't like the word, most Kadosh place. That's the narrowest door. The enclosure. So that's a type of him. To come before Yahuwah, to enter into that mercy seat. Interesting. Okay. This is Yahuwsha. 144,000 people who overcame the Great Tribulation. And how do you overcome the Great Tribulation? By being perfected, having knowledge of Him. He's revealing His ways to us. It's not just if we survive not confessing a Baal name and we're saved. No, you have to know the Torah inside and out. It's a total assimilation in the Mashiach. And what we're studying here is part of the Torah, okay? What we're studying here is part of the Torah. Okay, the Ark. I'll just use the King James style Bible so you'll understand terminology. Okay, the Ark. On the sides of the Ark, remember I mentioned the sides of the Ark? That's the same word for rib in Hebrew. A wife, rib, a bet, holding things together. Okay, the Ark. The Ark is 14 cubits. So many wide, so many high, so many deep. It's the total of 14 cubits. Okay? Now the mercy seat, or the lid, or the covering is 8 cubits. And the total of that is 22. Now I won't go into all the prophetic numbers on it right now as far as what the the Hebrew numbers mean. I wanted to lay this foundation first. Okay. The table of the bread of his face, of course, is 12 loaves, and he is the bread from heaven, and he is the bread from heaven that stopped giving the bread on the 6th day, and the showbread is always put on the altar, or the showbread table, I'm sorry, on the Shabbat. I'm not saying it was made and baked in the Shabbat. It was always laid brand new, right at sunset, right before that. They got it all baked and laid it upon the table and renewed it every Shabbat. And he is the bread from heaven. And he is 12. He's perfect order. He is the bread that the priesthood eats. That was their most kadosh food. They ate it through the week. Okay? And the table adds up to 12 cubits. Now the menorah, this is interesting. Some of the lunar Sabbath guys, they think the menorah is the lunar Sabbath, all as far as you adding up the nuts and the buds. And there's a truth to that, and I can even see the 30, because down at the bottom of the menorah, they have that little pendulum that comes out, and is actually the base, it's the wide base. That would add up to 30. And that would speak to a Hebrew month of 30. But basically, with adding up all the buds and the nuts and everything, it's 29. But the base was not counted. It's just 4 on the stem, and the base was unmentioned. So that could be 30. Okay, the menorah, 7 stems. And this is what I teach. Let's just say it's true. The menorah does, since it was created on the sun, moon, stars were created on the 4th day. And when you go through the unbroken Shabbat week, the menorah is the 4th item of furniture that we go through. It's the 4th day of the week. And of course the Shabbat is the mercy seat. And it goes back and reverts back on the first day, or what we call Sunday, is the altar of a burnt offering. See, all 7 pieces of furniture take us through the Shabbat week. That has nothing to do with the month. But it's interesting. Let's just say that this does represent the 4th day, the sun, moon, and stars, and all the lights, the signs, the wonders were created, okay? 29 nuts and blossoms were beaten into this, okay? This is interesting. I'll explain the Sabbath. And that includes the knops and the buds on the top where the 7 candle lights fly out of. Okay? Let's just assume that is the lunar month. Alright, let's just assume. Okay, if that's the case, there is the Sabbath comes up as far as the Sabbath week that we consider it's not bound by the month at all, okay, in our faith. Okay, the lights that are burning above each of the 7, the lights themselves are the 7th day Sabbath week. And see, that's what I've always taught for years, family, that the lights are the 7th day Sabbath week. And then the physical creation, moon, sun, and stars, are made for the appointments. See, what people don't understand, the Shabbat week is a continual. It's 6 days work, 7th day rest. 6 days work, there's never a break. Once you break it, it's no longer continual. That's why the moon Sabbathers, to me, they're dead and their sins are dying that way unless they repent. They're totally cast off the Shabbat. It's over for them. Because that's the one sign you're his people. Now, he's upstairs, he reads the heart, he understands, he might not have counted. I'm talking, basically right on the letter of the law type thing. Again, the stems that hold the flames that those stems hold are the 7-day week. And the buds right below them are just part of the 29 and or 30 days of the month to depict the moon Sabbath, or not the moon Sabbath, but the appointments and the 7-day week that rules or actually gave birth to the appointments. See, the 7-day week gave birth to all the sun, moon, stars. I've always used that analogy. How can a newborn baby be born and then open up the newborn baby's womb, shove mama in there right after the birth, and give birth to mama? That's how ridiculous a Sabbath in the moon is. The sun, moon, stars were created by the womb of the week. The week made everything. Yahuwah made everything through his week. It's an instrument. It's a vessel. But that's all I'm going on that. So the menorah is, again, 7 with 29 and possibly 30. Now, if you add up separately as far as these prophetic numbers, if you add up separately, the knobs and the buds together, it adds up to 44 total on the instrument.